Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to attempt to guide you through the process of gathering RMC and construction materials using the Reclaimer. We'll be spending approximately half the video focusing on RMC collection in Pyro and the other half collecting easy construction materials over in Stanton. Using the latter method you can easily make give or take 1,000,000 credits per hour. Well, here we are. We've pulled up the Reclaimer from storage and I'm just going to show you the two entrances and exits so you can get in and out of the ship. First one is at the back of the ship and you can see it's labelled here somewhere. There we go, just above us here. If you call that down, it'll have the elevator that brings you to the rear part of the ship and you can navigate all the way through to the front. Just going to quickly show you the front entrance to the ship as well. You'll notice a circular light on the floor. And literally all you do is just come up to the light and press F. And that brings down a single person elevator shaft. But we're not going to use that, we're going to work from the back and go forward to the front. So let's go to the back. Right, this is the cargo elevator, even though you can't really fit much cargo on it. And let's start at the let's start at the salvage processing. No, salvage balcony, the top one. So if you select this floor, it will bring you out above the salvage processing unit. There's no real functionality to these walkways yet. I guess you could use it just to eye up where you've got some space where you can put some more boxes. What I've seen people doing is storing some of the larger containers on these walkways. You can fit probably a whole 240 SCU of 16 containers up here. That leaves then the cargo grid down the bottom free for the next lot of salvaging that you print out. This is one of your salvage processing printers. The other one is literally the other side of it. So you've got two at the back here. Okay, one on the left, one on the right. I'm going to head down now and show you how they work. So you use the lift, hold F and go to salvage processing. Righto, now this is where the main magic happens. Okay, so whether you're collecting RMC or CM, when you scrape it or absorb the ship, it will put it into your hopper. You have a shared hopper between this printer and the one over there, and it's 240 SCU. Okay, and then when you've got cargo in there that you can print, it'll say either RMC or CM, and you can pick which one that you want to print out. It'll also have a little drop down menu of what size container you want to print. So we're mainly going to be printing 16 SCU boxes just to get them out of the hopper really quickly. There's also a crafting tab, and in here you can craft a multi-tool with construction materials and RMC. You can craft the tractor beam that goes in the multi-tool, the Cambio Light SRT attachment for the same multi-tool, the canister for the same multi-tool, and fuses. Now you'll need fuses if you want to go into the contested zones, I believe, but I've not done that yet. I believe the fuses will come into play once they bring in engineering, but it's good to know you can craft them here. doesn't take a lot of material at all to craft them. In fact, any of this stuff doesn't cost a great deal of materials. So easy to get. Okay, so this is your salvage processing floor, and then what happens is as you print the boxes, they slide out onto this platform, and then you literally just use your tractor beam. I'd recommend the max lift because it can pick up these big boxes and rotate them with ease. And you'll place them in this section here, this section here, this section here, and this section here. And like I said, some people stack them up here all the way around. You've got to watch out for the chains because they'll get in the way. Stack it all the way around the top, leaving you more room down here to do it. Another option is you can chuck them down this ramp into the salvage hold, and they'll generally bounce off of this ramp and head to the floor below where we're going to head next. So hold F again, and we're going to go to the salvage hold. Now when you get here, this is just another area that you can store cargo out of the way of the main processing floor. This is the ramp that the boxes will bounce off of essentially, and you can move them all the way back here. Fit quite a lot of boxes under if you really wanted to. It's not what I do. There's an easier way of storing your boxes, which I'll show you later on in the video. The next floor we're going to head to is the cargo hold. Oh, it's behind me. Okay, so this room can fit some more cargo in here, well out of the way. It just depends if you want to fight the doorways to fit the 16 SCU boxes out and get them onto the lift. Personally, I don't use this at the moment. I don't think I'll use it until they update the ship, because the size of these doors simply aren't big enough to battle your way through with the big boxes. If you're printing 4 SCU containers, they'll fit on here quite easily, but then you've got to print a lot more of them, just more time consuming. Okay, the next floor is, well, the bottom floor is the exit, so that takes us back down to the pad. We're actually going to head over up to the habitation deck now. If it wants to work. Habitation deck, please. Oh, there we go, it's doing it. Okay, just a brief tour of your way back from the back of the ship to the front. These are your airlocks, which I believe will take you outside, possibly. Yes, if you wanted to jump out, you could, in fact, jump out. Although I'm not sure why my character's crouching there. Just to show you the scale of the ship. Absolutely huge. You've got one on the other side as well. These are airlocked. Okay, you've got one this side as well. Same thing. If you drop down these elevator shafts, this will bring you to the sub deck at the back, and this is where all of your engineering gameplay would happen. There's no other way to access this area other than them 2 lifts. One there and one on this side. Walk around the back. I'm assuming these are your component access when they finally bring it all in for engineering. This looks like the reactor for the engines. Nice. Then, guessing this is your engineering station, but as of 4.1, this isn't actually working. But this is where you would do your engineering gameplay. Nothing you can do at the moment. Power on. Okay, so this just brings up the main MFDs from the front of the ship. You can cycle through all your power management. Might come in useful if you've got a third person or second person down here. You want them to call the station for you and stuff. Let's get out of that. So I'm out. How do we get out? There we go. We'll head back up. where we came. Right, so this is your habitation areas. You've got the crew quarters, which has got some lockers. They're not currently implemented properly for storage, but you can open and shut them. These ones I think possibly are. Can you access these? No, they're the same. And then you've got 4 beds for you and your friends to log out. These ones. Do these ones work? Yeah, these ones have got internal storage. Okay, so you can keep some food and drink in those too. Assuming that one as well. And that one there. And if you come to the left, you've got the bathrooms. 2 sinks. A non-functional mirror. And then you've got 2 showers and 2 toilets. Okay. Nice and cozy. You head back out and across the corridor. We've got another habitation room. And this is the captain's quarters. So it's identical to the other side, except there's only 1 bed in here. Excuse the servers, they're playing up tonight. Oh, come on. Let's give it a second. Here we go. So you've got your captain's chair here. I don't think that panel works for anything. Some display panels, some shelving. No storage here. You've got some seating that you can't sit on. Some more of those unfinished storage units there. To the right, you've got your single bed, and you have your toilet. Okay, so there's your toilet area. Another non-functioning mirror, shower, and toilet. And this is the bed that I use for bed logging. So if you wanted to log out in space rather than a space station, you literally hold F on the bed and go to lie down. Hold F again, and you'd use log out ship just underneath where it says get up. Okay, and that will log you out back to the main menu. So when you log back in on your next session, you'll be back here in space in your bed. You just get up and carry on with your salvaging. So next we're going to head to the front of the ship. Keep heading forward. This is the kitchen area. Some condiments on the table. Little window there for looking out into space. It's like some sort of screen. Not sure what you can do with that. I don't even know if you can interact with it. Let's have a look. Nothing. And this room here is for your docking collar on top of the ship. Okay, so you just open that and it takes you to the top of the ship. And this is just a door to loop you back around the kitchen area where we came in. Okay, through these doors we have then got the tech deck. These rooms either side of the walkway, I believe they're just more component access rooms, possibly. Maintenance rooms, you've got one that side and this side. Oh, this is your escape pods apparently. Okay, so when they're functional, you've got 3 escape pods there. Presumably will eject you from the ship in an emergency. Go around this central room. This is your turret room. They're not implemented in the game just yet, but future updates, I think they're planning on allowing you to have a few turret drones in here, not turrets, drones. Where you can use drones to look for salvage material, collect things. Not sure how it's going to work yet, but this is the room where you'd access all of your drones. Looks like a mini hangar ceiling there that would probably open up, or maybe drop down there and get out. Okay, and heading back, we've got on the right side here gravity generator. That's all that's in this room. There's a ladder that drops down to the bridge, which I'll show you the other end of in a second. This middle ladder takes you up to the top manned turret. So if you're on a multi-crew, you can have someone up here protecting you. Okay, that's all that's up here. Just a turret that takes you to the roof. And then as we head back down, we're going to show you the bridge. You take this lift down, just call it here. You could, if you wanted to, just drop down that ladder backwards and take a bit of damage and you'll be down straight away. But we're going to show you the proper route. Okay. First off, this is your salvage teeth or grinder. I'm assuming the idea was you'd pull in the salvage material or parts of the ships. It will get crushed up in here and then processed to the back of the ship. But at the moment, these animations are just that. They're just animations, they don't actually do anything. This is the lift that takes you to the front single person elevator I showed you earlier. You have to call the elevator to bring it back up. Usually it's already up here, you just stand in it and then go down. This is the ladder access, the ladder access above where I showed you a second ago. You've got a scanning station that side and this side. Again, not sure what they're used for at the moment. And a remote turret, which I'm assuming is for your guns, which I'll talk about in just a second. Looks like some more escape pods there. And then through this door is your main bridge, do all your piloting and scraping and salvaging. You've got your left salvage operator seat and your right salvage operator seat. That's because each side of the ship you've got two salvage arms. I'll just show you how they work quick. So when you first come in, you want to find the power button, which is here. Okay, without accessing that, you can't actually use the salvaging arms. And then underneath the bottom screen, you've got another button which says Enter Remote Turret. When you press that, it takes you into the turret mode. Okay, very similar. In fact, exactly the same as using the Vulture. You've got, by default, you've got a Ready Grip tractor module, which is for moving the panels about or ship parts, bring them closer, rotate them. And then if you right-click, you'll bring up your scraper module, which is what you scrape your RMC with. As you, oh, wrong button. And as you can see, it says there in the depot we've got 0 out of 240 in our hopper. What I've actually done is I've replaced the default scraper module with braids. You can pick those up for about 1250 credits. I'll put a list up on screen now of the places that sell those, but generally you're looking for a platinum bay in most of the gallerias. But like I say, I'll put a list up now. It's very cheap. I've replaced it on both arms, so if I'm doing a multi-crew, the person on the other arm has also got a braid and a tractor module. And then finally at the end, we've got on the right, you've got your claw operator seat, which we'll delve into in a minute, and your pilot seat, obviously for flying. When you enter the claw operator seat, it will bring out the main claw at the front for fracturing and disintegrating ships. That's where you get your construction materials from, and you can get a lot of them very quickly with this ship. And this is your main pilot seat. Such a large ship, unbelievably large. So there you can see you've got some turrets on the top. You've got turrets left and right, just above me, to my left and right. Underneath those, you've got, just zoom in a bit, see the turrets on the left there, and the turret on the right. You've got your main claw at the bottom here. And then just above that, but underneath where we sit, we've got your left and right scraper modules. So with 4.1.0 update, they've actually allowed the pilots of the larger ships, like the Reclaimer, to be able to operate 2 of the main the turrets. Before, you had no weapons as a pilot, you had to get out and man the turrets yourself. So the ones they let you use, as you can see, are the left and right ones, either side of the cockpit. And what I'll do now is I'll jump to how to replace those from the standard Panther 3 size 3s. Okay, I'll exit the ship first, just to show you the way down the elevator, and then we'll cut to the way that we replace those cannons. So you would call the elevator up, these doors would open, and you just walk forward until you see go down. Just press F, and this will begin the very slow, painful descent back down to the pad. And there we have it. That is a somewhat comprehensive little mini tour, if you can call it that. How to get in and out of the ship, where the scraper arms are, where the claw comes out, and all of the storage opportunities you've got for it. So now I'm going to run back and I'll just show you which turrets to replace, so that you can use the front left and right turrets, have something a bit stronger in there than the default ones. Right, to start off with, you're going to want to make sure that you've got the vehicle you want to edit the layout of. You want to have it stored where you are, otherwise you can't access it to modify any of the components. We're just going to store that down now. It does take quite a while with these extra large hangars. Brilliant, now that's stored. If you hit F1 to bring up your Moby glass, go to the bottom right where it says vehicles, and you have a drop down menu which is all the ships you've got at this location that you can modify. We're going to go with the Reclaimer. Got your paints on the left, you've got your propulsion systems here with a brief description of what each one does. You've got your other systems here. I've taken the cooler out because I don't believe it does anything at the moment, so it just sits there using up your power slots. Got your power plant there, your quantum drive and your shield generator. I'm not sure what you can put in these. These are utility ones, so if you wanted to switch the trawler scrapers that they come with, if you want to switch them with the abrades that you've purchased, all you do is you click on the sub item slot where it says trawler, trawler, and you just left click. I'll show you. You left click and then hit save changes and equip. So that's now changed it back to a trawler, and then you just choose a braid, save changes and equip, and now because we've done that with both of them, that's all been done. Now this is where it gets a little bit more confusing because there's so many turrets and they're not in order. So it starts with turret 2 with the Panther repeater size 3s. We're going to leave them alone. It's not turret 1 either, they've still got the default 3 there. And what you want to look for is turret 5 and turret 6. So turret 5, we changed it for a Ardor 3 salvage repeater, which is what I got as part of the safe Stanton rewards. I've got 2 of those, so I've put one on the left with an attrition 3 that I purchased. Those attrition 3s, they cost you 54,000 per one, so it's going to cost you about 110,000 to upgrade your abrades and your weapons. The reason I've gone with these is because I find them easier to bring down the bigger ships, which are probably going to be targeting you in this. I'll put on the screen now where you can buy the attrition 3s. You might have to do a bit of shopping about and finagling. But this is how you swap them out once you've purchased them. So turret 5, we've got 1 salvage repeater and 1 attrition 3. And then on turret 6, we've done the same. We've got the other salvage repeater and the attrition 3 repeater as well. Now, those are laser weapons, so they will regenerate, and And obviously the more power you put into your weapons, the quicker they'll regenerate and the more ammo you'll have in it, which is why it's handy to knock out the cooler. Just take it out. All you'd do is you'd click on this and then press unequip, okay, and then save, and that'd be done. Right, so that's how you switch them out. Remember, it's turrets 5 and 6, and they're not necessarily in order. Okay, we're about to head out now to I'm going to show you where I salvage my panels for RMC in Pyro. And you can see we're using the single person elevator shaft at the front of the ship just to get up straight into the bridge. Now when you're taking off with the Reclaimer, once you bring your landing gear up, if you press K for kilo, it will put it into VTOL mode. If you're on a planet with any sort of atmosphere or gravitational pull, this will help you immensely in actually getting out of atmosphere, or at least taking off of the pad. Can actually do is if you hold shift and spacebar, boost you up quite quickly, which is handy if you're fighting against gravity. Once we're out, we're going to press K again, put those VTOLs away, and I'm going to show you today where I go for my RMC, my panels. Okay, so we're currently at checkmate. This is my base since the 4.1 update. We're going to head all the way over to Terminus. This thing's got an absolutely huge quantum fuel capacity. Up the top left there you can see it's 8.6 million. So you can jump around a lot without having to refuel that. Let's just see if we can now jump to Terminus. And I will see you once we arrive. Right, and we have arrived at Terminus. Now what I want to show you is, just like Yella, we have got an asteroid belt all the way around it. And all we're going to do is pick a place, any place you want, and we're just going to boost up to it, get there as quick as we can. As we're heading up towards the asteroid field, just a quick tip again. If you hold F and hover over your radar, you can scroll wheel outwards, and this helps zoom out your radar so you can see ships a lot further away that might be around you. And also we're just hitting tab every so often to see how long it takes the ping to highlight the asteroids. That way we can see roughly how close we're getting, and then we know it's time to slow down. As we're just getting to our target, we're going to hit V, and that's going to change our heads up display to show our scanning results. You see here on the right hand side of the circle, or the semicircle, if you scroll wheel up, that will show you it'll be an angle straight in front of you for you to scan rather than a 360 degree. I find that a lot more accurate at finding places to scrape. And now we're just going to look around and hit tab whilst not banging into these asteroids. And we're going to look for results with a multiple of 2000. That means that if it's 2000 dead on, that's one panel there we can scrape. If it's anything up to say 20,000, we know that's 10 panels in that little cluster, and it'd be well worth heading there to scrape some. As you can see, we've got a result there in front of us. That's a 10,000. Perfect. I'm just going to hit B, hold it down, put us back out of quantum drive. And we're just going to keep tabbing until we get nice and close so we can see the panels. Once you get to about 3,000 kilometers out in the Reclaimer, maybe just less, when you hit tab it will show you exactly where those panels are, like that. And then we want to slow it down. Just watch our speed. And if we hold right click we can zoom in and we can see we've got one large panel, one medium panel, and then 3 tiny ones which probably aren't worth our time in the Reclaimer. So there's your 10,000. We've got 5 2,000 signals there. What we would do is we head towards the large one. I'm going to show you how we get it into position for the right scraper arm. I'm not actually going to scrape it because it fills our buffer up with an uneven amount, and right now I'm not going to be doing a lot of RMC scraping at the moment. I'm going to save our buffer for purely construction materials, which we'll show you next in the video where I go to get them and how much money you can make by getting those. It's insane. So for now we're just going to come up nice and slow towards this large panel. We're going to keep it on the right side of this central window, and we're going to aim up probably about there so it's at the bottom of the next window here. Okay, and we're going to just hit Y. If you was a multi-crew, you could have someone already in that arm here, ready to scrape it. But as soon as we're doing this solo, we're going to go to the right salvage operator seat. And again, if your panels are blank, you just go up to this corner here and turn it on. And then this bottom button here, which gets us into the turret. Which the server's not playing ball. Here we go. It's got us in there now. And I think the server was that bad it hasn't put us where the panel is. Oh no, here it is. No, it's not. That's my claw. We'll have to get back out and see where that's gone. It appears it has buggered off somewhere. I have no idea where that's gone. Not stuck to me, is it? Right. Okay, so we're just going to go for another panel then. I'll try again and show you how it works. And would you believe it? This one's disappeared as well. We will find one. If not, I'll just cut to some sped up footage of me actually doing this. So I'm not going to sit around all night and try and record it. I'll add it in when I can, okay? But essentially all you would do is use the Ready Grip Tractor module just to grab the panel, bring it towards you with a scroll wheel, and then use right click to engage the Abrade Scraper module, and then you can just scrape it to your heart's content till you've got all of your RMC. When I'm finished scraping normally, I would set my jump point to Terminus itself, to Ruin Station. Okay, because that's got an extra large hangar you can land this Reclaimer in. You can unload your RMC and sell it there. Again, I'll see if I can get some footage of me doing that and just put it in here for you. Next up, we're going to be heading back over to Stanton. And I'm going to show you how I get my construction material, and an example of just how insane it is, how easy it is, insanely easy it is to make a hell of a lot of money in this. Okay, once you've done maybe doing a little session of say an hour or so, the easiest way I find to not have to waste time landing, logging out at a space station, is I would literally head from, for example, Terminus here. If you just head to say that refueling station on the right, and then we're just going to knock ourselves out of the jump anywhere along that line, because chances are no one's going to be stopping where we've stopped. They'll go the whole route So they're not really going to find you along that route. And what it lets you do is bed log, which I will show you just now. So we're just going to get past this remote asteroid base. You might get a few people out there doing the same sort of thing in the vicinity. Just going to get along a bit further before we drop out of quantum travel. I think that should do us about now. And all I usually do is go left or right or up and down. You're just going to boost off of this course just to be on the safe side. Boost off the course for, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. And then we're just going to put our ship out of quantum boost. So it brings our shields up. And you can see up the top left there, it's regenerating our shields for us. Okay, that's done. And we're going to jump out the seat. And we're going to head over to the captain quarters again. I'm going to go lay down in the bed and I'll show you how the logout function works. It's probably worthwhile me doing it anyway because this server is going down quick. Considering this is a new ship, it cost, when I purchased it, it cost 31 million credits. It's disgusting. There's no, I mean, I don't mind the look, but you wouldn't pay 31 million for a ship to be new, to have all this rust and bloodstains everywhere. But I guess that's the aesthetics of the ship, and it does work well with this ship. Okay, so we want the captain's quarters. To the bedroom, hold F and lie down. And to log out, you hold F and then scroll wheel to log out. I'll see you when I log back in. Okay, you join us back over in Stanton now. We've made our way towards yellow. You want to get yourself there. And there's a couple of missions that we're going to attempt. We're going to try and show you how to fill up your reclaimer and make a hell of a lot of money. Good idea usually to get to one of the top or bottom OM markers of the moon. Because that way you'll get an aerial view of the asteroid field. So when it comes to jump into your salvage ship that you're going to go and disintegrate, you shouldn't have too many issues getting directly to it. Show you what that looks like. Here we go, we've got the Hammerhead cleanup. Let's accept that one. As we look around for it, we should hopefully have a decent overhead view. There we go. Now, if you can't directly jump to it, you could always try the OM marker nearer to it. I do find sometimes if you just turn your quantum jump off, put it back on, it does then let you jump to the salvage site. Once you arrive, you're just going to give it a few seconds and it should tell you exactly where the ship is that they want you to salvage. There we go, the yellow marker will get us there. You want to head there nice and steady. Don't want to go too fast when you're approaching, because if you hit these ships, they tend to barrel out of control out of the way from you. Give it a little boost. Just watch yourself. Now, you want to angle yourself at such an angle where you're either looking at it top down or from the bottom end at the belly. The idea is to try and cover as much of the area of the ship as possible, so that when it fractures, you should be able to get a lot of the ship in one go. Now we've got a trespassing notice because this is an unverified mission. If we don't do this in time, it will give you a crime stat. We've got plenty of time to do what we're doing. If you were to choose to salvage this for RMC, you'd obviously want to be very quick doing that. It will take you a long time. If you're still here when that countdown timer disappears, you'll get yourself a crime stat. Now our goal here is to get probably about that close, nice and central to it, and then hop over to the claw operator seat. Remember, if you were to try and salvage it for RMC, you want to get in either your right arm salvage seat or your left one. But for this example, we're getting in the claw operator seat. Now, if you get in this seat and the screen's off like that, all you need to do is hold F. This will say power off. You're going to click it and then it'll change to power on, and then you just click power on. Okay. You then have to press M to get the claw to deploy. And the claw has got two modes. The first mode is for fracturing ships, so that breaks them into pieces, and then once they're fractured, you can then change it to disintegration mode. So there we've got fracture field. It says there we're looking at 200 SCU roughly of construction material for this. We're going to let this fracture. That will complete the mission instantly, so we'll get our payout of 23,000 for that. Now there's going to be a big explosion, and you'll see the ship break into maybe 2 or 3 pieces. We're going to hope it rolls towards us, and then we're going to right click when it blows up. And there you can see it's at 162 SCU for that chunk. 220 now. And 30 for one on the left. So if we get... it might not fill us up. As it's rolling away, we're just going to let it settle for a sec. Try and get a little bit closer to give us a bonus. You can see there it's got a minus 9% debuff on how much we'll get because it's so far away. So I'm just going to reposition the ship, try and get a little bit closer to get that as a 10% positive bonus, which will fill up our 240 SCU buffer. But we know that chunk on the head of the Hammerhead will get us another 30 SCU or so. So we know if we get about here, if it doesn't give us the 10% bonus, we'll just rotate the ship and get the head of the Hammerhead and take that with us. So each time you get in and out of this seat, it will have to deploy the claw again. You can see down there it's extending out. Make sure you're in disintegration mode. So over this side, you can see there it's give us a 7% bonus now, so it's not quite going to fill us up, I don't think. But if it doesn't, we'll get the remainder from the head to the left, just over there. You can see there. It's going to be close. 10% bonus is 22, which gives us 242, so we might be a little bit shy. So you've got the radial progress bar there going around clockwise. When that finishes, that ship will disappear and it'll be in our salvage processing area, ready to be processed into crates. So we're looking down the bottom left now. What did it give us? 236. Okay, not quite there. Usually the head and the body will stay relatively close together, and you'll get them both in one swoop, which that'll put you well over your buffer zone. Try and not get too close to this now. We only want a little bit. Should be enough. And again, that arm's going to extend on its own underneath us. Too close? I think we're okay. Yeah, easy. There you go. So that's going to give us 30 more SCU, which is going to fill us up completely. You've got a warning there on the left. Look, targets in this field exceed available space in your depot, which we're okay with that. There we go. We're now full. 240 out of 240. We're going to get out and we're going to fly out of the trespass zone. Make sure we don't get any unwanted attention. Now what I like to do when I want a bit of peace and quiet when no one's going to find you, put it back into jump mode. And we're just going to target, let's do Daymar. And then we're just going to knock ourselves out of the jump a random point in between here and there. That'll give us time to head back to the back of the ship and start moving these crates about. Okay, we've got the jump working, so we're literally going to stop about 40 odd away. A little bit of delay there. Just head out on the main path. Get our shields back on. When we slow down, we're going to take the long walk back to the processing area. Okay, once you're down at the processing area, you're going to want to access your processing stations here on the left and the right. You've got one this side and one this side. And we're going to set it to construction materials 16 SCU. Make sure you've highlighted auto eject. And then press eject. Do the same this side. 16 SCU eject. Now, as you can see, I've already filled up some areas up there off grid. And then the default grids, these are the spaces you can do them. Very corners of the room, so 2 there, 3 and 3. And then the rest of it you sort of carefully stack in such a way that just lets you maneuver around still. Haven't got to be too tidy, it depends how much you're willing to fit in here. Give that one a little push. I'm just going to empty these buffers out and then I'll be back with you once we're ready to head to the next ship to salvage. So as you can see, once you've done a couple of them, there's plenty of room here to knock your boxes about and stack them as high as you want. I've seen some people making full towers out of them with little tiny walkways to get through, but all we're going to do is we're going to leave it like this for now. I can hear a few banging noises, so it might be one of these crates that isn't properly settled, so that potentially could blow the ship up. So what we're going to do, we're going to do one more Hammerhead mission, fill the buffers up but not actually print them out yet. We'll keep them in the buffers. That'll give us another 480,000 worth of CM in there. So I'll see you at the next Hammerhead mission. Well, we're going to give the Starfarer a quick try. That's quite a big ship as well. Be interesting to see if it can fill the buffers up with one of those. I know the Caterpillar isn't quite enough. It's not quite enough ship there to fill us up. So we know the Hammerhead does. We're just going to test the Starfarer now. Okay, we're now at the Starfarer clear up mission. Again, we're going to get to about 50 meters or so, nice and central. We're going to hope for a break that gives us the ship that rolls towards us rather than away. Cool, it's huge. Okay. This looks like it could be better than the Hammerhead, so let's get this fractured. I have actually come across a Reclaimer at one of the wormhole jump points coming from Pyro back to Stanton. And that thing is ridiculous. You get like 1,000 or so SCU for construction materials. Obviously, we can only handle 240, but these Reclaimers are behemoths, absolutely huge. And let's hope this breaks nice for us. If it doesn't, it's not too bad because we can take a big hit there, percentage-wise, to scrape it. There we go. As long as you get the main body there. Going out of sight. I think if the ship comes towards you and glitches against you too much like that, it disappears. Okay. We're getting unlucky with these. We've got those 2 little bits coming here. Look, 1 SCU. That one there's 35. I think that other one despawned because it came too close to the ship. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to head to a space station now and I'll show you where we are going to sell it, how much money we've made. Okay, now we're the other side. We are going to head towards Checkmate. Now, because these extra large hangars are designed for the capital ships, you'll find that the Reclaimer has got plenty of room to get in and out. Although this is a massive ship, it doesn't fill up huge amount on this pad. Okay, before you get out, if you hold F, over here you'll see an open exterior button. You want to click that before you get out, and you'll see the bottom door extended there. On the back right there of the screen. That's where we're going to throw all of our cargo. Drop them down. Quite like that. You want to get them as sideways as possible. That's much better. Do the same with this one. And as you start throwing them down, I think the weight of them basically squashes the one prior out of the ship. Because the hole itself down there isn't it isn't wide enough to fit these out without bashing about. So do it the way that we can. So if you do end up getting loads of boxes stuck on that back lift, what you can do is go back to the pilot seat. While you're here, just give yourself a repair because it will be damaging your vehicle. So what you want to do is go back to this area. You want to open, close, exterior, and then open it again. And you should see that anything that's stuck, like badly stuck, will get spat out onto the floor. And look at this lovely mess we've made. Okay, we've now finished loading the freight elevator. We've done it in a few sections because the servers have been quite unreliable recently. So if you do it bit by bit, you should find, he says, you should find that the elevators will store your items. Hopefully. If it has bugged out, we'll just calculate how much profit we would have got from say 4 240 SCU runs. Okay, time to see how much it actually registered in the elevators. It should be over 600, I'm hoping. Oh, we go, 750. 1.6 million. Now, because we've come to checkmate, if you look at, let me sell this first, 1.6 million. Not too bad. Because we come over to Pyro, I found a lot of these Pyro stations. They're desperately out of stock of construction materials. So by the time you go off again now back to Stanton and grab all of this and come back, it'll say out of stock. So they'll literally take probably about 1,000's worth at a time, which is about 2 million's worth if you bring 1,000 back. You could of course go and sell in Stanton while you're there, but the trouble you've got in Stanton is they've always got high inventory of it because I think the players are doing it over that side. So you'd store all that 750 SCU at say Orison or Grimhex, and then you've got a server hop to try and sell maybe 10 to 16 of these containers at a time. Whereas in the same, roughly the same amount of time, you could have just flown back to Pyro, one of these Pyro stations that buy it and sell it all at once. Well, that's the end of the video. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comment section below. You can use this method quite easily to make probably about 1 million per hour. Most of the time is going to be travelling. Once you get over to Yellow, it's just as simple as recycling those Hammerheads and the Star Lancer, the big fuel container ships. Do those. Stack your grid, come over here and sell it. Let me know how you get on. Just a quick side note, we did get a lot of the money that we bought the Reclaimer for from the recent event, the Mine or Die event, which was a lot of fun. In that process we did buy an Argo mole, so hopefully I can maybe get a very brief tutorial on how to mine with that. I'm not an expert at it, but let me know if you want to see it in the comments, and I'll start working on that one. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.